The Lost Tapes. Sarah Chon never imagined her master's thesis in criminology would lead her to the dusty basement of the Seattle Police Department. As a true crime documentarian, she had gained special access to the uncatalogued files of the Ted Bundy case. It was a rainy October afternoon when she found the box labeled only TB 1974 MISC. Inside, among yellowed photographs and typewritten reports, were 3 unlabeled cassette tapes. Retired Detective Murphy, who was accompanying her, frowned. "I've never seen these tapes before," he muttered, picking one up. "And I worked this case for years." Sarah felt a chill. Bundy had been executed decades ago, yet he still held a morbid fascination for the public. Her YouTube channel, Forgotten Crimes, had gained thousands of followers for uncovering lost evidence. "Can I digitize these tapes?" she asked, trying to hide the anxiety in her voice. Murphy hesitated, eyeing the tapes like they were venomous snakes. "I suppose. But Sarah, be careful with what you might find in them." She walked out of the building with the tapes in her bag, unaware she had just opened a door that was meant to stay closed forever. Back at her Capitol Hill apartment, Sarah hooked the old tape player to her computer. Her hands trembled slightly as she inserted the first tape. The audio quality was awful static, hissing, and then a voice. Ted Bundy's voice. Date: January 15th, 1974. "This is my 13th confession, I believe." The voice was calm, almost seductive, exactly as Sarah had heard in famous interviews. But this one is different. This is about the ones they never found. Sarah paused the recording, heart pounding. Unpublished Bundy confessions were the holy grail for any true crime researcher. She rechecked the authenticity, the voice, the mannerisms, it all matched. Bundy continued. The first was in Oregon. An art student named Lisa Morrison. Brown hair, green eyes. She was painting near a bridge when I approached her. Sarah stopped the tape. Lisa Morrison. She quickly searched online. No missing persons record. No known Bundy victim by that name. Either Bundy was lying, or there were murders that had never come to light. She looked at the other 2 tapes on her desk. How many more secrets were waiting to be uncovered? Her hand hovered over the record button on her software. These confessions could change everything. Sarah worked for 3 days digitizing and editing the tapes. The content was disturbing. Bundy described sickening methods never documented before. Locations where he allegedly buried bodies, and names of unknown victims. On the 3rd tape, his voice changed more intimate. "You, listening to this in the future," Bundy said, as if he knew someone would eventually find the recordings. "You feel it too, don't you? That morbid curiosity, that need to know what happened to them." Sarah paused, a chill crawling up her spine. Just a coincidence, she told herself. She created a special video for her channel, Ted Bundy's Lost Tapes, Never Before Heard Confessions Found. The thumbnail showed a haunting photo of Bundy with blood-red text, Never Before Revealed. The video went live at 11:47 p.m. on a Friday. Within 15 minutes, it had 1,000 views. In an hour, 10,000. Comments poured in. Is this real? Oh my God, these details are horrifying. Sarah, where did you find this? But one comment stood out. The user was named Ted Bundy 1974 and simply wrote, "You weren't supposed to find those tapes, Sarah." Her blood ran cold. How did this user know her name when she had never mentioned it in the video? The video went viral overnight. By morning, Sarah had over 500,000 views and thousands of comments. But as she read them, an unsettling feeling grew in her stomach. The user, Ted Bundy 1974, had commented several times throughout the night. 234 Amelissa had a birthmark on her left shoulder. You forgot to mention that. 3:15 a.m. The place in Oregon wasn't just any bridge. It was Burnside Bridge. I remember the sound of the water. 4:22 Masera Chun, 28 years old, lives in Capitol Hill. Brown hair, just like the others. Sarah deleted the comments immediately, but they kept reappearing. Other users started noticing. This Ted Bundy 1974 guy is creepy as hell. How does he know all this stuff? Sarah, block that psycho. She tried to block the user, but the system said the profile didn't exist. Impossible she had seen the comments herself. Her phone rang. Unknown number. Hello? Silence. Then a familiar voice, the same one from the tapes, whispered, "Did you enjoy the recording, Sarah? I have more stories to tell." The call dropped. Sarah stared at her phone with trembling hands. Bundy had been dead for over 20 years. This couldn't be happening. But when she looked at the comments again, a new message awaited her. "See you soon." Sarah couldn't sleep for 3 nights. She decided to dig deeper into the origins of the tapes. She returned to the police department, but Detective Murphy had suddenly gone on vacation. No one else knew about the tapes or the box she had found. "I'm sorry. There's no record of any box labeled TB1974 MISC," the receptionist said, checking the computer. "And Detective Murphy hasn't worked here in 2 years. He died of a heart attack." Sarah felt the world spin. She had spoken to Murphy just a week ago. Impossible. Back at home, she researched Lisa Morrison, the first victim mentioned. After hours combing through old newspaper archives, she found a small article from an Oregon paper dated January 1974. Art student disappears near Burnside Bridge. Lisa Morrison was real, and the details matched Bundy's confession exactly. Sarah recorded a follow-up video, sharing her findings. But when she tried to upload it, her computer froze. The screen flickered, and for a moment, she swore she saw Bundy's face staring back at her from the monitor. Her phone rang again. This time she didn't answer, but the voicemail that arrived chilled her to the core. "Sarah, you've done well uncovering my ... past work. But now it's time for you to become part of the story. I'll see you tonight." The voice wasn't Bundy's anymore. It was Murphy's. Sarah locked every door and window, but she knew it wouldn't protect her. She decided to confront the mystery head-on. She returned to the original tapes, this time listening for background details. On the second tape, beneath the static, she heard something she had missed before. A television playing in the background. Amplifying the audio, She identified an old commercial dating exactly to January 1974. But there was something else whispering voices, like multiple people were in the room during the recording. One of those voices was unmistakably Murphy's. Sarah dug deeper into the detective's past. Murphy had been a young officer during the original Bundy investigation, but in the files she found, there were disturbing inconsistencies, missing evidence, witnesses who changed statements, cases closed prematurely. Her heart pounded as she found a photo of the 1974 investigation team. There was Murphy decades younger, with something in his eyes, the same coldness she had seen in Bundy's photos. The phone rang again. This time she answered. "You're starting to understand, aren't you, Sarah?" Murphy's voice was darker now. The tapes weren't Bundy's. They were mine. Ted was just the perfect scapegoat. You're the real killer? Oh, Sarah, Bundy killed a few, but I killed far more. And using his identity gave me perfect cover. Sarah knew she had to act fast. Murphy, or whatever he truly was coming for her. She copied all the evidence she had gathered to multiple cloud services and sent it to trusted contacts with clear instructions. If anything happened to her, publish everything. At 11:30 p.m., she heard footsteps in the hallway. Her door lock started to jiggle. Sarah hid in the bedroom closet, clutching her phone with 911 already dialed. The door opened. Slow footsteps echoed through the apartment. "Sarah, I know you're here," Murphy's familiar voice called. "You've done such a good job investigating my crimes. But now, you have to pay the price for your curiosity." She heard him searching every room, getting closer. Through the closet slats, she saw a shadow move. "You know," Murphy continued, "those tapes were my insurance. If anything ever went wrong, I could. The police found enough evidence in Sarah's apartment to open a new investigation. Murphy's DNA was discovered at multiple cold crime scenes from the 1970s and 80s. Dozens of solved cases had to be reopened. Sarah turned her experience into a full-length documentary, exposing the truth about the crimes that had been wrongly attributed solely to Ted Bundy. The documentary won awards and brought long overdue justice to families who had waited decades for answers. Murphy was never found. Officially, he had died 2 years earlier, but Sarah knew the truth. Sometimes she still received anonymous messages. "Nice work, Sarah, but this isn't over." Her YouTube following grew exponentially, but she never investigated another cold case alone again. The original tapes vanished mysteriously from the police department as if they had never existed. On quiet nights, Sarah could still hear echoes of that sinister voice. Did you enjoy the recordings? And she knew some mysteries were too dangerous to be unraveled. But she also knew she had given a voice to the forgotten victims. And that made it all worth it. In the final video of her series on the case, she left a warning. Some truths come with a price, but silence will always cost more. The video ended with a black screen and a single word, end, because Sarah knew that in stories like this, the end is never really the end.